Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning, morning. I am good. Still down here in Miami. Had an awesome night playing poker last night. And we're supposed to go diving on Saturday, but the weather here is insane. It's like you're in Canada. It is cold. It was snowing in different parts of Florida. So it's been I may be going back to Latin America without getting a dive in. That's gonna be disappointing.
Oh, I tell you what's disappointing. Moving to a country, do you know? Oh, I've buried the lead. What country in the world has the most snowfall in the world? What country?
I want to
Siberia?
guess like Norway or Sweden or something.
It's Japan, in fact. And
Wow.
and uh, because of their question without notice. I don't know why. I'm not a snow expert. I've seen snow once in my life for one day. But I moved to the snowiest country in the world. And, if you talk to any Australian, every Australian's got this, wrong mindset that Australia is the hottest country in the world. But I thought I was in the hottest country in the world, moving to the snowiest country in the world. It's the middle of winter and it's not even bad, dude. It's not, there's no snow. It's fine. I got short pants on and a t-shirt most days in the middle of winter. Where's my snow? I want this snow.
I
All
know.
right.
There's also this thing called Russia that is
Yeah.
known for snow, and yet somehow it's Japan.
Well, I think it's just the snowfall. It's not, I don't know. Look it up. It's a real thing. All right. Let's rock through this. Last night, believe it or not, last night was one of the proudest trades I've had for a long time. And not because it was a good earner or anything like that, but when we were doing the show last night, I was in a long, it's not this black line right here. This is a current trade that I'm in, but I've already deleted it. I can't remember what it was, but I think maybe it was around this price, but it doesn't matter. The point still remains. When we did the show, and as soon as the show ended, like right as we were closing the show, and last night's show was a real weird show, especially with that funny feedback loop that we had. The price cratered, and it happened while I was on the show and wasn't watching. Unguarded position, no stop loss, and I was messaging Tone down here. I was minus 20%. Not a position I like to be in. I trade big guys. That's a lot of money. That was a lot of money. And I didn't know what to do. Like, do I just call this? Like, because I was on the show, I missed it and was unprepared. I entered the trade very irregularly, as you might recall if you watched last night's show. I just sort of FOMO'd into the trade as this was ripping. It might have even been here. I can't. It was this candle right here. No, well, not here. This candle right here. We had dropped big time. So I was an unguarded position, but I just was lucky enough just to hold it, 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 hold it. And I pulled out 10% on both the Trump and the Bitcoin trade last night. Crazy. Lucky. Lucky is the only word for it. Not good. Lucky. I was in all sorts of trouble. If this had kept rocking, I was looking at who knows how bad that trade could have been. And just for a heads up, I only trade with like 5 to 10% of my overall net worth. So, when I say I'm in a 20% loss, a 10% loss, or something like that, it's not of my overall net worth. It's a manageable loss in the scheme of things. But I don't like to do that either way. And I was just really lucky that pulling 10% out when you're staring down the barrel of a minus 20% 30 minutes later was one of the proudest trades of my life, believe it or not. And I was messaging Tone throughout. So I stayed out of it the rest of the time. Uh, a few hours ago, here, I guess. I got into this trade and it's been doing nothing ever since. I'm lucky, I'm glad we're doing the show a little bit later today because this would have been really annoying that 4 days in a row I was in profit. Remember that this was negative, right? I was in minus in this trade. 4 days in a row with one short trade yesterday and then two long trades the 2 previous days. I was in great profit of not great profit. I was in about 8 to 10% profit prior to the show going live. And then just as the show went live, I was negative. And that has happened 4 days in a row. But we have bounced a little bit right now. Look, this is not very exciting trading conditions for me. I haven't done particularly well. Um, I don't really like this little mucking around, pulling 5% out, pulling 1% out, and all this, stopping out all the time. I don't like this at all. And as I go up the time frames, it'll make more sense. So we're moving on to the 4 hour time frame. Just range bound. Like when you look at it here, yesterday we're looking at a potential diamond pattern, which on live on air got completely obliterated. So you were right about that. I was wrong. It did look like a diamond though. Like it had that broken down, it would have really looked like a diamond pattern. It would have been a classic one, in fact, but it didn't work. And now I like where the 4 hour sits. But this range bound stuff of from we could say from this candle on the 17th to right now, this is tricky to trade. Like it's not easy to trade this sort of stuff. And if you've traded it really well, you're better than me. But I have done mediocre, not lost, but mediocre. I like I can say it now. I like where this candle sits. I like the MRI count. We're above all the moving averages. We've just had like this bullish cross on the 4 hour time frame. I can say that, and then I'm losing my confidence. Yesterday's show, I was not looking very bullish when we were down at 102, and it spiked immediately. So like this for me is bullish as it stands right now on the 4 hour, but I'm talking about day trading positions. But if this just went bang down back to 101 again, well, we're back to not feeling that good about it again. But as it stands on the 4 hour, I like it. The daily looks a lot better. I really like the daily. Really like the daily where it stands right now. Um, Though we're flirting with the highest daily close of all time with 8.5 hours left. MRI counts fantastic. The 1 to 4 candle correction. I'll let Tone talk about that. I like where the daily stands. Uh, no, the oscillators on the daily are fine. This is a Friday show, so I'll just go into the weekly to close that off. As it stands, we're working on the highest weekly close of all time. And not only that, we came back down and retested the 7. This is where clarity comes from a zoomed out mind frame, a time frame, excuse me, that when this candle opened, that all those scares that we had on the 15-minute time frame looks brilliant that we just came back to retest the 7 above all the moving averages on a great MRI count with the Copic curve. Um, can I get in a spot here? Flirting with next week having its cross. Let's get that across the line. I really, really don't mind at all the EMA coming back into the really good strong strength there. Then the copy curve. I said that the copy curve down here. What I meant was the EXA. The copy curve is still perfectly. It's rounding, but that's fine. That's nothing to concern yourself with. Everything looks really good on the weekly as it stands. So as I come back to you now, Tone, it's been a tricky week for me personally. I went from I guess it was the trade from Friday to Monday. I've really struggled to remember trades once they're closed, but I had possibly the best trade I've had all year, but for a really long time, made an insane trade over the weekend. And then it's been nothing but stop outs at break even and thereabouts until last night, which I could have lost a lot and turned it into a good trade. I'm in a trade now, about 10% up. So if that's bad trading in my books, maybe it's not that bad, right? A bit of maybe I need to zoom out on my own trading. That's not too bad either. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. And Tone, what do you think, mate? Going into the weekend, we looking good?
We do actually. This is going to be a quick show. I don't have much to say because we've been consolidating all week. But the most important part is what you just mentioned. We are looking at a brand new weekly high close. And that is incredibly bullish for having a weekly high close. So that's a good sign to for more upside in the very near future. That's what I'm really paying attention to. The month is also coming to an end. It's going to close as a very bullish month. And we are smack in the middle of an MRI count. So we have definitely more upside. Rumors that China has sold a lot of Bitcoin. And that's also a bullish sign. If that Bitcoin has been sold, then the pressure of that Bitcoin being sold in the future is gone. Trump has made an announcement that they are going to, at the least, not sell any Bitcoin that the government confiscates. If we were doing the news show on Bitcoin, I would talk about how evil that plan is to eventually take place. I'm not going to do it here on this show, but I am generally not thrilled with the rule that the Bitcoin that the government confiscates, they have to hold on to, because it creates an incentive for the government to confiscate a lot more Bitcoin. So I'm generally not happy about that. And but overall, this is probably positive for the price of Bitcoin in the near future, just like the ETFs will continue to be positive for the price of Bitcoin in the near future. Uh,
There's
Probably,
there's there's
yeah.
certainly precedent. If you look at gold of governments seizing gold,
Oh
that's
yeah, it's gonna happen to Bitcoin. I mean, I was talking about this for years and years and years ago. That give it another 10 to 12 years, and you will see the 1933 confiscation of gold repeat itself with the confiscation of Bitcoin, because people are still too stupid to hold Bitcoin with their own private keys. They are holding them even in cases of hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. They are holding them with government custody. And at the end of the day, at the end of the decade, probably this decade or next decade, government is going to confiscate it until people get smarter and protect their private keys. That's the only thing that Bitcoin has that is unique. There's nothing about Bitcoin that's unique if it's being held by a government approved institution. Okay. So here is a 1 hour chart. And we are under this trend line. I would like to see us get above that trend line, but I do like where this is headed. We do need to get above 106 and stay above 106 for a bit, because now we are on the verge of breaking this downward sloping trend line, and we are right there. If I would, make it kind of accurate like that, we are just above it, and that is also a very good sign. Just need to get over that 106, and I think we can easily break out to the upside. Let me see what the MRI looks like on a 4-hour chart. It's above all the moving averages. We are looking really, really good. Green star candle, about to close at a new 4-hour swing high versus yesterday. That's great. Got one more hurdle. I think this is poised to break out. I'm of the view that Bitcoin doesn't rally too much on the weekends, but this is one of those weekends where it actually could. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I am bullish across all time frames at this point. There's the daily green star is still missing, but we can get that later today or tomorrow. So, and I think that's also coming. We are looking good on the cycle chart. There is really not much to be concerned about. Oil is pulling back a smidge because, again, Trump is looking to mine for a lot more oil, drill for a lot more oil. And gold, I've been bullish on the gold since a week and a half ago when we were getting a really good candle. And gold is about to close at a brand new weekly high and maybe even a brand new daily high. That is a very bullish sign. I will always be bullish at the top. Gold is almost at a new daily closing high and about to break an MRI resistance line, but the daily MRI top will come on Monday. So look for a 1 to 4 candle correction and then a nice pop to the upside. Man, my target on gold was 3,000. I am going to have to raise that beyond 3,000, but if we approach 3,000, I guess in Q1 of this year, that could be a nice selling opportunity for those that are holding gold.
you've been saying 3,000 on gold for at least 3 years, I reckon, mate.
Yeah,
Man.
we're almost there, and I'll probably raise that target. S&P is at a brand new daily closing high. That was a new all-time high. I expected Trump to be very good for the equity markets. And there's one big question to ask. What is Trump going to do with taxes? We all know he's going to raise tariffs, but is he going to lower taxes. There are income taxes, and then there are capital gains and investment taxes. I am more interested in him lowering the investment and capital gains taxes, and some people that have a boss are more interested in him lowering the income tax. So I have a selfish motivation. I couldn't care less what the income tax is because I work for myself. So it's the investment taxes that I care more about. So we'll see what Trump does. And the stock market has been on a massive rally. Nothing to really see there. And interest rates are kind of hanging in here. All right, that is it. I don't have much else to add. BlackRock is buying more Bitcoin, and all the other ETFs are just stuck and dragging along. Yeah, they completely dominated the space. I still keep an eye on my spreadsheet. Look at the volume discrepancy. It's unreal. We're talking 10x more volume than the next biggest competitor. Insane.
Combined.
Yeah, well, it's almost combined. It's like 5x combined and 10x versus their leading competitor. It's yeah, BlackRock is definitely leading the way. All right, I got nothing else.
Big surprise.
Yep.
All right. Happy
All right.
Friday. Let's wind her up.
All right, sounds good. Let me get off screen share.
Thanks, guys, for joining us for another week. What a treat it's been to have you here. Have a great weekend, and hopefully Bitcoin rallies a bit over the weekend. We get to all new all-time highs and have a highest ever weekly close. Would be fantastic. Trade safe. Thanks,
Sounds
Tony.
good. Bye, everyone.
Did you just bang your head on that, Dom?
No. It was my hands, but you can't hear it, unfortunately. It doesn't. The sound doesn't resonate through microphones, which is interesting. Bye, guys.